Good Tuesday evening, everybody. It's Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. We are now Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Welcome to Live Weather Impact tonight. And boy, we've had a great stretch of weather. Today was gorgeous. Yesterday was gorgeous. And honestly, the next couple of days aren't going to be horrible. They're just not going to be as sunny as what we had today. That would probably be the biggest change that we're going to see over the next few days. It's still going to be warm, if not warmer than we've seen, but the sunshine won't be as abundant. We started to see some of that today, and we'll take a look at our High Brighton Mountain camera. I love this camera because we're looking back towards the Blue Ridge. Just a beautiful view. The sun set already. It's set at 6:08 this evening, but we still got plenty of twilight. Remember, you get a good 30, 40 minutes of twilight after sunset and before sunrise, so you get these great golden hours setting up here, and just a great evening out there. But what's happened today is, we had full sun for most of the day, and then probably starting around 4 or 5 o'clock, we started to see this high cloud deck move in from the northwest, and it's visible on our satellite imagery. You can see almost all of that cloud cover coming in. It's all mid and high level clouds, so it's really not rain clouds or anything like that, but it will serve as a blanket to trap some of the warmth that we had today, which was pretty plentiful. We've got 60s out there, really warm air to the west. We're going to talk about what's going on in the plains. Big windstorm out there and wildfires everywhere. There's evacuations going on coming up in a few minutes. Tim and I will talk about what's going on out there. It's a crazy weather pattern out west. They're getting snow, rain, and wind. And that's now moving into the plains. But our temperatures, look how warm it is, and also look at that south wind. Southerly winds continue to pump in the warm air. With the cloud cover over us tonight, that will trap the warmth we had today. So you're looking at temperatures maybe not falling out of the 50s. That's near our average high, and that could be our low temperature overnight. So when you're starting the day that warm, you're certainly going to get pretty toasty. Now, the high temperature day was 65. That was even with the late day clouds. But look at the morning low. We were down in the upper 30s, which is close to average. But today definitely was warmer than average overall, especially for that afternoon high. So the overnight lows only going about 51, but I wouldn't be shocked to see low to mid 50s where the clouds stay a little thicker. If we see some thinning, then you can clear it out. And look at tomorrow. Even with mostly cloudy skies, I imagine we're still going to be close to 70, if not low 70s. And part of the reason you can be so warm tomorrow is, one, we have southwest winds. Look at them, 14 miles per hour. But also, the fact that we're starting in the low 50s takes very little time for it to warm up. So I would expect it to be a pretty mild day. Now, we need rain. We talked about this, Tim and I, probably way too much over the last couple of weeks. And we got the rain Sunday, which was great. That actually has given us the smallest deficit for a month since the surplus last August. So it was substantial, but we're still slightly behind, and I do expect we're going to stay there until we see substantial rain. So that leads to not only dry conditions, but the pollen. If you're an allergy sufferer, this is not going to be a surprise. We're starting to see tree pollen, but the southwest wind, not only does it stir up our local pollen, it brings pollen in from areas like Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Florida, areas where the trees are way ahead of where we are up here in the Piedmont of North Carolina. So we're getting some of that pollen from our southwestern areas, and that's going to continue. So that's why the pollen levels actually go up the next couple of days. And the rain chances, they're there. They're just not widespread. I would not count on there being substantial rainfall, and we'll kind of go hour by hour here with our future cast. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, so don't expect a ton of sun. A break here and there certainly possible. Dry for the most part, but tomorrow night into Thursday, you see a couple isolated showers, but it's really not that much. And then Friday's an interesting day because a cold front approaches, and it might kick off a few more substantial showers or even a thunderstorm. That certainly could be possible early in the day. I'm kind of doubting that's going to come through that quickly. It could get hung up for a while, but either way, Friday's looking like a pretty warm day with the best chance of rain, or at least the highest chance. Doesn't mean it's the heaviest, because when we look at the rainfall totals, it's not much to write home about. I mean, you're talking less than a quarter of an inch just about everywhere. We need an inch plus per week just to maintain, steady levels of rainfall. We need more than that to get rid of the drought. So that's not going to cut it, but it's something, right? And so when we look at our forecast the next 3 days, pretty warm. I think that's the theme, but also pretty cloudy. A lot of clouds, more than sun, but with the southwest wind and any breaks at all, that's certainly still going to get us well into the 60s and 70s. I think Friday, if we see sun, outside chance we get close to 80. Certainly not out of the realm a possibility. When we look at this temperature trend over the next 7 days, it's predominantly warm, and that leads a lot of people to say, hey, are we done with winter? This was the last 7 days, by the way, just to give you an idea where we're coming from. So, pretty warm stretch of weather there. But what's interesting is going into the next 7 days, we start to see an even warmer pattern, and then people think, okay, we're done with winter. But look at early next week. That'll be a wake-up call. It's still not over. We tend to have winter chances all the way through the middle of March. So until we get there, you can't write winter off. And spring in general is a wild time of year. I think a lot of times people think it's one consistent temperature. Not a big fan of spring-like or fall-like, because spring and fall are transition seasons. You tend to see a little bit of everything. So it can be very warm like it is this week, and it can get cold like it is early next week. And that is exactly normal for spring. It's a very diverse time of year, in particular March, which is a wild month. So just be prepared. We are not going to see some steady state of temperatures. We kind of see things kind of level off a little bit by April, but March is probably, to me, one of the wildest weather months we have in the Carolinas. You literally could get severe weather in 80s, and you could get a snowstorm. That is pretty much March in a nutshell. So this weekend, unlike last weekend, we had a bad Sunday. This weekend, it looks like it's going to be a bad Saturday with a better Sunday. I wouldn't even think Saturday is going to be all that bad. Right now, looking at maybe a 60% chance of morning showers kind of clearing out, and then turning much cooler as we go into Sunday. And that Sunday time frame, that is actually when we start to see the beginning of what looks to be a pretty substantial cool down for early next week. And we kind of alluded to this in our temperature forecast, but let's show you our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day. Pretty warm Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're seeing those temperatures jump way up into the 70s, close to 80. Scattered to isolated showers. I would not call it widespread because it just doesn't look like a ton of rain. But whenever that front gets here Saturday morning, that might be the best chance. And then look at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Pretty dramatic cool down, and we'll go 10 days into the future so you get a good long look at this. And you'll notice, temperatures are really chilly, especially for late February next week. We're talking highs mid to upper 40s, which is almost 10 degrees below average, and the morning lows way down in the 20s. So that's a pretty hard freeze for, at least 3 of those mornings, and that's about 10 degrees below average. So that kind of goes to show you Mother Nature just throwing you that wild card out there to say, hey, we're not done with the cold weather just yet, even though we've had some warm weather, and we're about to see a nice stretch of warm weather this week. Next week will be a gentle reminder like, hey, we're not done quite yet. So coming up, Tim Buckley is going to join me from WFMY. We're going to talk about West Coast wild weather. We got to talk about these wildfires. This is a real-time thing. It's like breaking news happening right now. We'll get into that and talk about some other things coming up in about 2 minutes, but stick around and stay right there.